Hey, what's going on, YouTubers? It's a High Priority 2 come back at you. This time with my Rustler VXL. This Rustler is a 3800 kV motor, Castle Creations, 4-pole. This is a 4S setup. A few months back, I had my first Rustler that I built, the one I used to get into the 70 mile per hour plus Ray Luna clip, was stolen at a job site. I had taken it out there to do some testing on this road out there that I had found in a pretty decent road. So I decided, to push the motor to its limits, running it on 4 cells to see if I could crack 100. Of course, running a Hobby Wing 150 amp ESC. And I'm going to be honest, I got real close to cracking 100, and I was pretty pumped up. I still haven't even at the time, I still haven't had a chance to really experiment with gearing or whatnot. I put some pretty, you want to say mild gearing on it, and it got pretty close to 100 miles an hour. Motor temps were about 140. ESC, of course, didn't really even feel it. It's a 6S ESC, so running it on 4S, really doesn't do much to it. But anyways, this is my new build. It's got the energy gearbox, of course, a 3800 kV motor. It's got RPM everything. This is full RPM except the gearbox, of course. It's got the big old Hobby Wing ESC on there. I don't know if you guys could see that. Yeah, it's my GPS custom front bumper, just inspired. Like I said, everything's RPM on this bad boy. I believe that I have the weight ratio, the power to weight ratio, pretty much set correctly for this setup, especially for the 3800 kV motor. Like I said, I'm going to be pushing it on 4 cells. I'm confident that this setup will give me 100 miles an hour. Like I said, I got real close. So I have no doubts this is going to be 100 miles an hour with a little small block, if you want to call that, little 3800 kV motor. I am going to be running dual 2 cells, SPCs. Let's see if this thing will focus anything. There you go. Dual 2 cells. They're 50C 120, I believe, burst. So yeah, this is where I stand. I put this project in the back burner for a minute. I focused more on finish building the Stampede and testing it and tuning it. Same thing with the ECX. I got into that build. But yeah, finally finished the Rustler. Here it is. Finished. I went with the old school GRPs here. You guys can see the tread pattern there. One, because they're a little bit taller than the traditional GRP that's being used nowadays. Just a tiny bit, not too much. But I figured, since it's a little bit taller, by the time it balloons, because these tires do balloon, it would give me another maybe 4 to 5 centimeters in height more than the regular GRP. But yeah, I've used these same tires before in my first attempt to 100 miles an hour versus the standard GRP over there, and yeah, they did give me a few miles per hour more. I also tried Jayco foams, but as soon as I hit some dust, it just completely sideways. So I scrapped the Jayco foam idea and settled for the GRP. Like I said, I've been testing and tuning with this setup, before my Rustler got stolen. That's a long story. I'm not going to get into that. Some of you guys know how it went down, so at least I got another build. She's done, and it's time to prove herself, which I have no doubt that she will not let me down. She will not let me down. Pretty confident, especially with the gearings we have today. We got the Poseidon gears. We got spurs that weren't available a year ago. or something like that, or spur to pinion adapters. For example, the ones that VGAD 23 sells. Check them out, on eBay. Those are some awesome adapters. So I'm pretty confident I'm gonna find a good gear ratio that could get me 100 plus. Yeah, but as long as it hits 100, if I see 100 miles an hour on that GPS flat, I'm satisfied. I'll retire this car and I'll keep it at that if the motor survives. If it blows up, I'll strap in a 2650, which I have. It's in a box somewhere up there. Got a bunch of motors up there. The ESC is ready to go. It's a 6S, 150 amp, capable ESC, so it's more than capable. But yeah, this is my attempt here. 3800 kV, 4-cell. So yeah, big shout out to Jess 34753. He helped shine some light on this crazy idea that I have here. Going 4-cell with the 3800 and actually, pushing it to its limit. So big shout outs to him and for giving me some advice. Also got some brand new S3s for the Stampede. Just an update on the Stampede. When it ran 93.7 miles an hour on the that one meetup we had with Too Quick for You and NL4U and Jew Got Beats. My battery was at 70%, guys. And she still ran 93.7 miles an hour, 0.8, whatever it was. So I'm confident with the full battery. It's 100 plus, especially with the gearing it has. It's not geared aggressive. It's geared just to barely, crack 100, 105 at the most. So, no doubt in my mind that was, 100 mile an hour pass. But unfortunately, as you saw in the first video, I believe, I was having massive traction issues with the truck. The tires that I had in the rear were not sticking. They were just burning up. And N4U gave me the S3s that it has now in the rear. And once I put those bad boys on, even though my battery was at 70%, it jumped up 12 miles an hour. So, tires make a difference. If I would have had those in the first run, it would have been 100 plus easy. But still, it's still the fastest two-wheel drive Stampede out there right now. So, soon to be the fastest two-wheel drive Stampede, over 100 miles an hour. One of these days, one of these weekends coming up, if I have the chance, I'm going to have to prove that. But I'm confident in it. I know it's going to do it. Truck's set up correctly. It handles beautifully. Same thing with the ECX. Ran 6 or 7 miles an hour. Blew the diff. All right, and that was about 3/4 of the track. Okay, blew the diff, seized up, snapped an MIP axle. That also was on low battery. Okay, so, dummy me didn't bring my charger with me, so, hey, whatever. Rookie mistake. But, next time for sure, both these will be over 100 miles an hour. But, yep, here's a Rustler. Been talking to a few of you guys about it, so it's finally done. And stay tuned for the speed runs. I'm painting up a body tomorrow. And stay tuned, I guess, for that. You'll probably, see the car. Next time you'll see it will be at the speed run spot with the new body. And making an attempt to 100 miles an hour. Like I said, everything's new. Everything's brand spanking new on this car. Everything. Except the chassis. So I'm going to start kind of slow, kind of mild with the gearing. I already know what this car could do, the setup could do. I've tested it before. This is 100% the identical setup I was running before. So I'm just going to start off slow, break everything in, see how she handles, if I need to tweak the camber or the toe, anything like that, add more weight, take more weight out. But yeah, like I said, no rush to crack 100. I know she could do it. I got pretty damn close before, so, I'll make a few videos of this guy. doing some clean passes before I just get right to it. Well, anyways, this is the 3800 kV powered rustler. Like I said, 4S. Stay tuned for those speed runs. Alright guys, take it easy. Thanks for watching. Peace.